Hello, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome, Andreas, at the Let's Talk IoT Devices webinar series. We are going to wait 1 or 2 additional minutes before we actually crack on with the show. How are you this morning, Andreas?
I'm perfect. I'm just looking into the first slide and I'm seeing one interesting thing and topic which I would like to discuss a little bit about. People, do you think that I was more beautiful without hair or with hair? You see my picture at the first slide and you see the real view right now. If you will have an answer, just push it to the chat, okay?
I like you without hair too.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so what about yourself? How's the morning for you? It's 9 a.m. or more.
I'm actually based out of Stockholm in Sweden,
Ah,
so it's 10 a.m. over here,
mhm.
9 a.m. for the UK. Oh, good. I actually cannot believe that this is going to be the seventh episode of this webinar series. You can see it in the top right
Mhm.
corner.
Yeah.
We have done quite a few other interesting episodes on smart buttons, on different IoT devices. The last one was on Volter, which is an ESP32 microcontroller unit. In
Mhm.
case anyone is interested, all the previous 6 episodes are available on the Soracom website, so come and check it out. And I'm really excited about this morning's topic, which is industrial IoT routers. And I'm really happy to have you on board,
Yeah,
Andreas.
me too. Thank
Shall
you
we
very
do
much.
the introduction round?
Yeah, probably we can.
Would you like to go first?
There's a saying, ladies first. So,
I'm happy to go first. My name is Dora, and good morning again, everyone. I'm working as an IoT device product manager at Soracom. I have joined Soracom about 1.5 years ago, and I'm responsible for our product portfolio within Europe and also in the North American region. Go ahead.
all right. So, as you see from the slide, I'm Andres. I'm working at the Teltonika Networks for approximately 7 years. My journey started as a sales manager. I know that it's quite a huge job to work in sales. And after 3 years, I moved to marketing. Some people tell that marketing and sales are very different, right?
Indeed.
One from another, but basically the purpose of sales and marketing is the same. Just one is thinking in the short term and another one in the long term. But yeah, so I'm the head of operation marketing project department and I'm happy to be there.
Great. Super happy to have you as my co host today. And before we look at the actual agenda and the program today, let me walk the audience through some housekeeping. We are running the webinar live. However, we are recording it. And the actual recording is going to be available once we do the cutting and some editing to it. So give us a few days and then you can actually consume it also afterwards. There will be handouts that will be available at the end of the session. And the most important thing is there is a built-in chat functionality in the tool, in this webinar tool. So please use it during the session in case you have some questions. We will have a dedicated question and answer session towards the end of the webinar. And that's where we are going to look into those questions that have arrived via the chat. Good. Let's look at what we have for today. The main topic is industrial routers or IoT routers. And we would like to talk a bit about the importance of why it's important to have IoT routers installed, especially at industrial locations or for smart agriculture, instead of going with off-the-shelf consumer-grade routers. We still very often see customers who actually pick up those consumer-grade ones and start using them within IoT, and then they wonder why they cannot scale or why they have some security loopholes. So we're going to look at the benefits and also some use cases. And we can actually check out what are the main vendors for IoT routers. And then we're going to close the first section by looking at the key factors, which will be a kind of summary of the entire first session. What are the key factors when choosing an IoT router? In the second part of the webinar, we're going to deep dive in Teltonika's router portfolio. We are going to zoom in to 3 different devices, the RUT 200, 241, and 951. And we are also going to talk about the Teltonika Networks RMS feature, which is a remote management functionality. And I'm really excited to learn a bit more about it. Good. Let's start. So, industrial routers. Based on the definition, an industrial or IoT router is part of the network infrastructure, and it's used to send data to and from IoT devices. And cellular routers actually went through quite some evolution over the past decades. They used to be regarded as very simple networking elements, and they turned into more aggregation points for devices, implementing advanced functionality such as security, edge computing, and we're going to be talking about support pieces and different connectivity options as well. Industrial routers, and I hope, Andreas, you're going to agree on that, they really excel in harsh environments. They offer robustness and high reliability. We're going to be talking a lot about security as well, and their performance is so much more above standard consumer-grade ones. Consumer-grade routers can be very good for home environments or for small and medium customers, but I think whenever we talk about IoT, we highly recommend to go with industrial routers. You're on board with that?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
We have actually prepared a quite detailed chart, and we were zooming on to 3 different specifications. One is the actual hardware part, the hardware piece of the routers, and we talked about the robustness and durability. Consumer routers are very often about compactness, small size, and also the look and feel, so that they actually blend into the home environments. While the industrial routers, they need to withstand those harsh environments. Here in Sweden, temperatures can easily drop to -30 or 40 degrees, especially up in the north. And then you definitely need some rugged routers that can be placed also outdoors in different, for instance, construction areas. The environmental considerations are very important. IoT routers need to tolerate temperatures, very high and low temperatures, humidity, moisture. We can think about vibration as well in certain applications. And the redundancy and fault tolerance is also just as an important factor. Consumer routers very often have 1 or 2 connectivity options. Usually it's Ethernet or Wi-Fi. While in IoT environments, redundancy is vital. You need to make sure that your downtime is minimal or even non-existent. So you need to have a router that is gonna have different backup options, connectivity options, and also backup power supplies. When we jump to the second section on this slide, which is about performance and reliability, we can talk about bandwidth and throughput requirements. Consumer-grade routers are very often designed to take care of moderate network leads. They don't need to stand high bandwidth or low latency, while industrial routers have to be very specific, especially if you have hundreds of different endpoints connecting to them. Network resilience and uptime needs to be also prioritized for industrial routers. And we absolutely agree that consumer routers just don't offer the same level of resilience. And the last one is, I would say, the most important piece, which is firewall as well as VPN option capabilities. We see more and more often that cybersecurity is becoming part of local, especially country-based legislations. So whenever you are about to pick your router for IoT use cases, you need to make sure that it's going to be resilient against security threats. So yeah, having VPN support, allowing the router to have a network layer protection additionally can really mean a lot. This is, I
I'm
think, yes,
I'm
go ahead, Andreas.
I'm amazed by the information that is in the slide, because it's like the main features and basics of understanding what's the difference between industrial ones and consumer ones. So thank you very much.
I hope you didn't get very overwhelmed by it. It's a lot of stuff, but the main takeaway is, I think, do not pick a home grade router or a consumer grade router for your industrial application.
For sure, I agree with you.
Are you ready to look at some use cases?
Yeah, for sure. Let's go.
And this is where I hope to get a bit of input from you, since you've been with Teltonika Networks for quite some time now. When it comes to actual use cases and applications for routers, what would you say? What are the industries that have shown the most interest or potential in utilizing your routers?
There are hundreds of different applications. I would say probably thousands of them. If somebody doesn't believe that, just visit Soracom webpage or our webpage, and that's it. But basically, there are main six industries, or we call main six industries. It's energy and utilities, industrial and automation, it's smart cities, transportation, and two others. So I think we can move to the topologies, where we will describe more or less a few of them, right?
Yes, we're going to have 4 specific use cases. The first 3 are explicitly using the RUT series from Teltonika, and the last one is going to go more towards 5G. Let's see the very first one, which is about providing connectivity for self-service parcel terminals. Can you
Okay.
tell us a bit more about this
Yeah,
one, the importance of providing reliable connectivity in this
yeah,
case?
for sure. If you would look into the research of, let's say, self-service parcel terminals, you would see that countries like UK is probably number one, or at least number in the top 5 countries in the world that has the most lockers or parcel terminals in one country. And specifically in UK, it's called Amazon lockers. I think it's the number one country that has the most Amazon lockers in that specific country. Talking about reliability and connectivity, it's a must to have a cellular router, one for the backup, or to have a main connectivity if the parcel terminal is more like a mobile one. So why you need a router? Because you have 3 things that needs to be connected. It's the payment terminal, right? It's the security cameras, and usually there's an HMI for user experience, for adding the correct code, etc. So for all these things, you need to have the internet connectivity, and you have to have a control like a cloud, where you can reach the camera to watch the security live stream or just recorded one. For the payment terminal, you need to have the connectivity, because you won't be able to make the payment right without internet connectivity. And you all know that those parcel terminals, most of them are standing outside, at least in my country, in Lithuania. All of them are standing outside of the shopping mall or any other
Yes.
building. And the products that are in that parcel terminal must withstand different temperature ranges, different humidity ranges. So if, for example, now, I think for 2 or 3 weeks in Lithuania, we have from -1 to -12, 14, something like that.
Yeah.
So imagine like a consumer grade product in the parcel terminal, it will stop working, and that's it. You won't be able to make the payment. You won't be able to watch the camera, the live streaming. So basically, the solution will be useless.
Indeed. When I look at this actual picture, Andreas, what I really love is how you distinguish between wireless and wired connections. And you can see that the actual router is connected most probably by Ethernet cables to the actual parser terminal, while the actual maintenance or repair personnel has a Wi-Fi based app that they can control the terminal with. And the router itself has 951 has, I think, a dual SIM holder.
Yeah,
So you can actually have 2 different cellular SIM cards inside and 2
yeah,
different operators to have as a backup.
yeah, as a backup for sure. And the Wi-Fi is needed basically for the on-site management, maintenance, or not management,
Totally.
and the parcel, let's say, worker comes to the parcel terminal and he needs to just scan all the barcodes to watch also to the tablet if all the parcels are, let's say, should be in this parcel terminal or not. So for this purpose, he can use either the Wi-Fi of the router, or he can use like I know the same router in his car, or he can use a tablet with SIM cards. So there's different options. But if you have one device for the parcel terminal, then why should you buy another device for the tablet? So,
Beautiful. Great. Let's move on to the next one. And
okay.
I would say that this is my favorite from today's application.
hmm Okay. So.
And this is about energy storage, right? And it's connected to one specific customer,
mhm.
uh, Redders in Australia.
Yeah, so in this use case, in this application, so we are also partnering with that company. I know that for the connectivity, they chose Soracom, right?
Yes, yes, they are running with our SIM cards in the routers.
Yeah, so for this purpose, basically that solar panels generates electricity, right? And in Australia, it is very popular to have those solar panels because the weather is way more beautiful. Sorry to say, but when you have a lot of electricity generated, you need to have batteries where you can store them for, let's say, different purposes. In Lithuania, most of those panels provides electricity to a national provider of electricity, but in
Right.
Australia, it is very popular to have like a backup batteries where you can store at least a part of that electricity generated. So the router provides a possibility to reach the controller of the whole solar panel farm or even the battery system to reach them remotely, because imagine that there are thousands of those endpoints, right, which you need to maintain. And rather a company offers the possibility to provide the maintenance to them. So if something happens to the system or the solar panels, you get a notification, you connect to them remotely using our remote management system, the functionalities of our Mesh Connect, and basically you can do whatever you want with them. So in this way, you save a lot of money, cut your expenditures by not sending the engineer to the location, but just by sitting at the table and managing everything.
And I also understand that they brought in quite some data analytics aspect to the maintenance, on top of the maintenance of the actual solar panels and energy storage systems, because they are even showing to consumers how is the availability of the actual electricity coming from these green sources.
Yeah, every physical person, because most of these solar panels are located at the households of physical person,
Hmm.
not like a companies. All of them have the application made by the company rather, and they can track how much energy they are generating, how much energy they are using real time, and how much energy they are storing. So,
Yeah, it
like
gives a
having,
lot of control to the actual consumer as
yeah,
well. Beautiful again. Let's go to retail, and this looks like a supermarket, a large
yeah.
supermarket.
It can be a supermarket, or in any other perspective, it can be like a clothes store, bigger clothes store, etc., which has the inventory, like a warehouse area, and they have the
Mhm.
retail area, right? For the same purpose, you can have, let's say, one router or 10 routers of our company. You can provide Wi-Fi for the barcode scanners because you need to know how many products you have in your warehouse real time. Not like you sell everything in the retail area and then you check if you have any other products in the warehouse area. It doesn't work like that. You have all the information real time and you know what you need to order and what you do not need to order. And
Yeah.
on the other part, the retail area, our products are providing internet connectivity via Ethernet cables to payment terminals for the same purpose as in the parcel terminal machines, just for the connectivity, for the backup, for the connectivity. And obviously, you can check all the information. You can reach all the devices through the same our operating our management system RMS, which provides quite great user interface and it's very simple to use.
And I love again the fact that on top of the wired connections, you are bringing in the Wi-Fi connectivity, which is utmost for barcode scanners. We know that they are falling back usually on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how the warehouse and stock management is fulfilled.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that overview. And the last practical use case for today is from smart agriculture. And I think when we think about smart agriculture, it's more and more about connecting not only IoT, but also artificial intelligence. And this is where the 5G part of the
Yeah.
IoT series comes in.
What people should understand about 5G products is that it doesn't offer only higher speeds, but it offers zero latency. So you can get the answer which you want in less than milliseconds, just by a simple press of the button. So in this particular topology, we have smart tractors, and you send them into the field, and you have the controller in it. You have our product connected to the controller, and in this way, you can check if the tractor is moving to the right direction, if all the sensors are working, because those sensors are connected to the main controller, meaning that they are connected to the router, in simple words. And if something is wrong, you get all the notifications. And if you need, let's say, stop the tractor, you do not go and run just by the tractor. You just connect your tablet using the Wi-Fi from the RTM50, and basically that's it. You can control the tractor, you can turn it back to you, you can check all the sensors, you can clean them, whatever you want to do with that.
So what you are saying is that the tractors actually run autonomously?
Yeah, it runs autonomous.
Wow, this is really the future.
Yeah, it's not the future, it's the reality right now.
Excellent, really cool. Thank you for these insights again.
No worries.
The next section is looking a little bit at the actual IoT router market. And we brought a pie chart to you that has a lot of different colors. But what we would like you to notice is that the more than half of the actual IoT router market is dominated by 5 different vendors. And I think you, Teltonika Networks, should be extremely proud, because the growth that you have achieved, that manifold growth that you have achieved in the past few years, has brought you to be the top, the third biggest IoT router manufacturer in the world.
Yes, we are very proud, and we will be in the first one in the first place. So it's just the matter of the time.
The sky is the limit. Yeah. The first one, when we quickly deep dive into this chart, Cradlepoint is number one. They are very dominant in the North American market, and they have been purchased by Ericsson, I believe, during 22. The second one is Sierra Wireless, again, a US-based company, and they were acquired by Semtech earlier this year in 2023. Then comes Teltonika Networks, owning almost 10% of the market. Cisco, and then Digi International is the fifth one. And then there are quite a few companies coming from the Asia Pacific market, from China, from Hong Kong, Taiwan. And yeah, there are a few, for instance, Swedish companies on the left-hand side. Another very interesting part is the actual pricing of this router. And then linking back to the previous slide, what we wanted to visualize here is how much more the price sensitivity is relevant on the European and also on the Asian markets. What we see is that the pricing for US-based manufacturers, such as Cradlepoint or Sierra, they are usually higher than what Teltonika's price range is. On this page, by the way, we were comparing Cat4 capable routers. And then we reach the end slowly of the first section. What we wanted to do in the next few slides is basically sum up what someone needs to think about when wanting to purchase a IoT router. So the first thing that should come into someone's mind is that the actual router should have a rugged design to withstand those environmental conditions that we were discussing earlier. Also, the speed is very important. You mentioned high bandwidth, low latency for 5G, or almost zero latency. And it is also just as important for 4G applications. Range is extremely important, no matter if we are talking about a smart factory or back to the smart tractors on a field. Whatever you are choosing, it needs to cover the expected range, needs to cover the actual area where the connected devices will be placed at. We haven't been talking about different standards yet. We're going to deep dive in those within the next section. But the different communication protocols and standards are very important. So make sure that your chosen router is going to be definitely compatible with those communication protocols that your systems are using. Security, again, we cannot talk enough about it. Firewalls, options, encryption, VPN tunnels, bring it all in. And what the Teltonika RMS also helps with, but also just the general user interface where you set up an actual router, is the actual ease of use. And I have to say that I tried to connect Teltonika routers before, and you have recently done quite some improvement to your interface, and you made it into a very customer-centric site. So well done on that. Let's look at what Teltonika Networks is about. Andreas, can you introduce us to Teltonika
Yeah,
Networks? And can you tell us a bit about what makes Teltonika routers stand out on the IoT market?
yeah. Everybody should understand that Teltonika Networks is a part of Teltonika IoT Group. It's like a mother company having five other companies inside of it, not inside of it, but together with it. So Teltonika Networks is a company that produces networking devices, industrial networking equipment. We have everything in one single country, in a small country of Lithuania. So we have R&D, manufacturing, we have management teams, we have sales teams, support teams, everything in one country. What does that give to us? Flexibility and speed. Imagine that there are competitors who are just, if you want, let's say, to buy a device in UK, you need to make an order to the manufacturer, which is located, let's say, in Czech Republic. Then they send a device to the Netherlands, because then there is the main logistics center, and then only then they send to you to UK. So we do not do that. Basically, it gives us the speed, and the speed not only to send devices and produce them, but to make decisions faster. If we want to make a new product, it won't take us 3 years, 2 years. It will take 1 year or even less to make the device from the scratch. Yeah, the main key point of our, let's say, strategy is cost efficient devices. Why? Because many years ago, when we went into the industrial cellular gateway and router market, we saw that this market is very greedy one. Everybody was so greedy that we thought, why the hell they are selling this device for this much? And we thought, okay, this is a good opportunity. And we came to the market with the very cost efficient devices, and now we are in the top three in the world. So this is our short history, how we dealt with that. And what you must remember when you are choosing the Teltonika Networks device is not only the price, it's about the reliability, security, and ease of use, because these are the three main pillars of our product philosophy. We are producing reliable devices. We have examples that devices are already in use for approximately 10 years. Even in my city, in Kaunas, Lithuania, we have lifts that are using our first products, RT 100 and RT 104.
Hmm.
So it gives us like a view that they are very reliable. The security, because we even have our security department which tests the devices and approves them. And ease of use is that our operating system is very easy to use, and we have remote management system which is for managing the device remotely. So I think we can move to the second slide, right?
Yes, let's do that. But before we jump to the next one, I actually have a question to you.
Okay.
Since you were at sales previously, you
Yeah.
probably know what is the average warranty time for your routers and gateways? Any
Warranty time or life expectancy?
it could be interesting to bring up both because um, we very often deal with customers from smart metering, and they have very long expectations on a lifetime, be it 10 to 15 years.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
So
it was cool to hear the example of the 10 plus year from the Kona
yeah.
elevators.
Yeah. Obviously, when we stated that more than 5 years of life expectancy, we take like a safe telling. We cannot tell that they will live for more than 20 years. I know because we are not making, let's say, the device for 30 years or 25 years. But regarding the warranty, we provide the standard warranty, which is like a must in European Union. So we are the European Union provider, so we must follow the rules. So we give that warranties.
Okay, cool. Thank you, thank you. And in the rest of the presentation, when we talk about routers, we are deep diving in three different RUT models. But on top of routers, you also have gateways
Yeah.
and modules and access points and also switches, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we are, let's say, we are very strong in industrial cellular market. We are moving also to industrial switching market, and we are thinking, not thinking, but we are starting to go into enterprise market with access points and the other devices that you will see in the future. So talking about these particular three devices that we will check today, we should understand, not understand, but think about the RT 200 as probably the device which is used in most applications by our clients because it is very simple, very friendly to use. It has two Ethernet ports, and there's a very interesting story behind that. Behind the two Ethernet ports is that I think 5 years ago we have launched to the market the RT240. The product, the first ever seller industrial router which had only two Ethernet ports. There was no other device that had only two Ethernet ports in the
Mm,
market. And what we saw that it was probably the best decision that we have ever made because it uh, instantly became our best-selling product. And why we produced the RT200 and even the product which we will see a little bit later, the RT241, because of the COVID. Why COVID? Because after COVID, there was a component crisis. There were manufacturers which took the component crisis into different perspective than we did. So there were manufacturers who told the buyers of their products that, okay, wait 1 year and you will get your devices. No, we didn't do that. We made analog devices. So we were checking, we were looking for different vendors of components. We found them and we produced two devices, not one, but two devices, basically for changing the RT240 for having products which we can sell to the market,
right,
which we can satisfy the needs of our clients. And talking about this specific product, it has the 4G Cat4 connectivity, it has the Wi-Fi. Our Wi-Fi comes with the hotspot functionality and access point and station modes. Not every, let's say, manufacturer offers that. With the hotspot, you get default landing page, so you do not need to spend additional money on just configuring that because it comes directly from the manufacturing plant.
right. And as I understand, RUT 200 targets mainly the European as well as the Asian Pacific markets,
Yeah, yeah.
while RUT or RUT 241 has even a global available.
Yeah, so RT240 can be used globally with different versions of it, but basically these are very similar devices. I think we can go to directly to the graph where we compare these two devices because okay, not
Yeah,
those two devices, but basically it will show the difference between RT240 and 241. You can see that there are not many differences in it. It has the same features, it has the same operating system. The difference is in the CPU, the
right.
component, which was basically due to pandemic, due to COVID,
Yeah,
which had the shortage of that, and we switched to MediaTek. And with that, we got a little bit more RAMs and a product which we can sell and which our
exactly.
clients can use.
And when we look at RUT 240, it's about to be end of life at the end
Yeah.
of this year. But I think RUT 240 was a phenomenal device that actually helped Teltonika Networks raise to the top three position where you are. I think this used to be, as you said, the best selling
Yeah.
device.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it is still right now. So it's the bestseller device.
yeah. Looking forward to look at its predecessors, be it RUT 200 or 241, and how they're gonna perform.
Oh, they perform basically the same. Everything is the same, just a few components are different. So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
when you will take RT 240, you know that you can use it the same as you used RT 240.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's jump over to the 900 series, which is targeting more industrial applications.
Yeah.
How
So
does 951 compare to 241, for instance?
yeah, so the main difference is that RT951 has two SIM cards instead of one that RT2 series has. Why two SIM cards are, let's say, great thing is that you can use two SIM cards. Basically, you will have more options for the backup. You will have all-time connectivity, and for industrial applications, it's in most cases it is a must. Not in most cases, in some of the cases it is a must to have two SIM cards. And the RT951 has four Ethernet ports, so you can connect up to four different devices. Also, it has the same Wi-Fi, the same, let's say, casing from the same, how would say, from the same things. Like it's an aluminum casing with plastic panels from the front and back,
Yeah,
with possibility to mount on the DIN rail. You can see from the side there's like a scratch on the casing, which you can use to mount it on the DIN rail with simple
exactly.
accessories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. And the 951 is the actual predecessor of the 950. And
Yeah.
here as well, you did a chipset swap, but
Hmm.
the rest of the dimensions, the RAM size is just as the same as it used to be
Yeah.
with the 950. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And this was the page that you were referencing earlier, where we actually zoom into the hardware specs
Yeah.
of all three devices. We are not going to walk anyone
No.
through this, but the main differences are actually marked in bold. So this is going to be included in the handout material. Feel free to compare these three routers. And as we said, there are many other types of routers as well as gateways and other applications available. Where I would like to take an extra minute is talking about your RMS system, because
Hmm.
it brings a lot of additional features for remote management. So if you can introduce us very briefly to Teltonika Networks RMS would be great.
Yes, I will try not to steal a lot of time from you and from the participants. Teltonika RMS is the remote management system created by us. It is constantly updated, developed, and because we have a team of more than 20 people who are responsible for that. It has four main parts: management, connect, VPN, and API. API is like a simple term, and probably everybody of you understands what's the purpose of it. So I will stick to the management, connect, and VPN. So with management, you can control our devices remotely from any part of the world. Let's say you have thousands of devices in Lithuania or Czech Republic, and you're sitting in UK office. You can control them, reach them, do whatever you want with them, the same way as you would sit next to them. Management provides also functionalities like multi-configuration. So again, 1,000 devices, you need to put the same configuration. You can do to that 1,000 devices in the same moment,
Excellent.
in a single window. Yeah,
Ease
you
of
just
use.
you just select all the products and that's it. And you put the configuration. Going to the connect, with connect functionality, you can reach third-party devices through different protocols. So if you have, let's say, I don't know, like a laptop or a TV or whatever, you can reach it via connect. You will see the same window as you see right now. Talking about VPN, you can reach probably any device in the world that supports the VPN, and and yeah, and do whatever you want with them. If you need to reach the sensor, you can reach it. If you want to reach the tractor, You can reach it, you can control it. If you want to reach payment terminal and restart it, you can do that easily.
Mm.
So basically, it's a perfect system for managing the whole network, industrial network, or any other network in the world.
Great. Thank you for that quick walkthrough. We are reaching the end of today's session. What we wanted to say is that we are extremely proud to be Teltonika Network's value-added reseller. And I'm going to be talking about Soracom in a minute. What we usually offer is connectivity services. But by having Teltonika Networks as our very valued partner, we turn into a one-stop shop because we bring together an IoT device, the platform services behind that, and also the connectivity itself. In case you are interested in the price tags and our offering, you can see 3 different Teltonika products up on our web store as of today. However, if you are interested in any other Teltonika products, we are very open to discuss letting them tested or even ordering something else than what we have available as of now. So feel free to reach out to our sales gang. And some of you might actually wonder what Soracom is. It might be the first time that you hear about us. We are a connectivity and platform service provider. We've been up and running for about 8 years now. We are rooted back to Japan, to Tokyo, and we also have physical offices in Seattle as well as in London. However, most of us are actually working digitally and remotely. And we are happy to give you a taste of our connectivity offerings. So please feel free to reach out. And with that, we are reaching the Q&A section. And the reason why I was pushing these last few slides is because I'm very curious whether we have any actual questions coming in. Not much. Andreas, I actually have something for you. I'm very interested if you think that there are any barriers or any drivers as of today for the actual cellular router market. What are the pitfalls? What does someone need to think twice
Yes.
about?
What you should think twice about, maybe once, what you should think about once is that the market is increasing, and it's increasing by, I think, approximately from 20 to 30% each year, meaning that don't miss the train right now, because it will be very hard to catch it in the future. And obviously, check the recording of this presentation because it shows the main information what you will need in how to choose the right device and what you should know before entering the industrial cellular gateway router market.
Great. Thank you ever so much for joining me today, Andreas. It was great to have you on
My
board.
pleasure.
I'm really looking forward to our collaboration, and I hope everyone will have his or her takeaway from today's session. Thank you everyone for joining us, and have a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.